Hello. Welcome to, I don't know when's the last time I did a video, like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago? It's been a while. It's 2018 December. I'm looking at the end of the year. And I'm going through a box of mail from when we moved into this house 5 years ago. So when we moved, we did a whole bunch of reduction, like 30% of our stuff, I'd say we tossed. Like literally rented a dumpster, opened the attic window, threw stuff out the attic window into the dumpster. I may have mentioned that in here in another video. But anyway, here we are again 5 years later, and we've done a wonderful job of accumulating more stuff and not getting rid of stuff. When we moved, we just took all this mail, threw it in a box, and put it in the garage. Eventually, it ended up in the basement. But now it's here in the office, and I'm shredding it. But it got me thinking about I don't even know where to start. This is the third time I recorded the video because it runs too long. I have too many thoughts about this. But it's gotten me thinking about when a person reaches a point where they need to downsize their house, right? So we moved not into a smaller house. We actually moved into a bigger house, but into a ranch so that we'd have one level living so we could stay here for a really long time. But we had been in the other house, I for 13 years, my wife for 20. And then we had to kind of like clear stuff out and pack. It was very traumatic. And we bought this house from an older couple. The woman that we met, one of the women, said to me she was traumatized because they were being forced to move against her will. Her partner had to be in a nursing home. She had been taking care of her home. She could no longer do it. So she had to be in a nursing home, which meant that partner number two lost her half of the house because the family of the other woman wanted to sell her half of the house. And so there they were. And she was traumatized. That's what she said to us the day we met her. And I was traumatized by a chosen move, right? And also 30 years younger than she was when she was forced to move. Older adults, their biggest fear, I think, is being forced out of their house by circumstances, by their health, by their partner's health, by their children's wishes, right? We want them to be safer and in a smaller place where we have more control over what happens to them and we can keep them safe because we love them. But to them, it feels like a different kind of experience. And if any of you have been through this, you know what I mean, right? So I'm always trying to think of ways that a person with dementia can have more control over whatever aspect of their life makes sense for them to control, makes sense to them for them to control. We always think we know, but we don't know what they really, really want unless we talk to them about it while they can still verbalize that to us, while they can still organize those thoughts and vocalize those thoughts. So I've been thinking today as I'm sorting through this mail about older adults who are in the early stages of dementia and who live in a house full of things, and how as a caregiver you can facilitate for them the organization and preparation of themselves and their things for the day that they're no longer here. This is not a conversation about, Mom, when we're putting you in the home, what do you want to go? No. This conversation is about, we want to know everything you want so that we can respect that. And let's start with who should be your healthcare proxy, who should be your power of attorney should something go wrong for you. What is your living will contents? What do you wish in terms of healthcare? The only way to be sure we give you what you need and want in terms of your health care when later stages of your disease is if you tell us now, right? It's the same with your stuff. So once we sort out how you want to be taken care of health-wise, then let's talk about how you want to be taken care of environmentally, right? What do you want around you? What things do you not need around you? What would you like to go to who? And how would you like us to take care of your stuff? I had a friend several years ago died of metastatic breast cancer. It had gotten to her brain. But before it advanced that far, she went through her house, her entire house, decades of accumulation of things, and sorted it all out, made donations to charities, gave things to her children, threw things away, so that when the time came and she needed to move, since she knew she had a progressive disease of cancer, she knew eventually she would be forced to move. And when that happened, she didn't want to be traumatic because she had to leave all of her things or make these last minute decisions. She wanted control over those things. And so she took control of those things. I think it made it easier for her kids. You'd have to ask them, but I think it made it easier for her kids. It made it easier for her to downsize to a small apartment and then eventually to give up that apartment to move into a nursing home. She knew exactly what things she wanted to go with her into that nursing home. And because she was a social worker for people who took care of people with dementia, she sort of knew what the later stages would look like and how she wanted it to look. And I think that she did great service to herself and her family. And I think it's something that we should all be thinking about when we have a person in our lives who is a progressive disease like dementia or metastatic cancer or something like that. What can we do to give them control over as much as possible while they still can exert that control? So that's what I'm thinking about. It's the end of December. We're moving into a new year. I hope it's a good year for you and your family. If you are a caregiver, the holidays could have been difficult for you, for your person with dementia. So I hope you're taking good care of yourself, being gentle with yourself. It's the day after Christmas here, and it's a good day to rest if you were stressed over at the holidays. They're over now. You can take some time to really just take care of yourself, take stock in your year, get ready for the next. Think about planning for yourself and your loved one, and take good care of yourself because you are the best resource that you have. Happy New Year.